What do you mean? What do you mean? How are you going to be muting yourself? Mhm.
Okay, we could begin now.
Okay, awesome. All right, again, welcome you guys to the workshop Learning Machine, where we are going to learn some AI strategies for surviving a zombie apocalypse. It is super possible, and we're going to explain why. Going to give me a slide. And here are just basically the topics we're going to go over. Yeah, we can go slide. All right, our introduction to the zombie apocalypse. This is super possible, known as the Salmonum virus. This is actually super common in actually primates, and it is basically, it's very similar to the virus of rabies, where it just attacks the nervous system and the brain cells, which actually makes the animal rabid. It actually multiplies its genetics, if you will. So it's constantly changing route and how it actually behaves. Which is why some things are actually more violent than others, or even you actually just see the patterns actually just take place. And the reason I bring that up is, sorry, I had to like widen my screen here. So yes, and so it has not evolved enough to where we can actually, it had actually been able to infect human beings. Our genetics are definitely different, so it has not evolved that much, but we would definitely want to be on our toes and know how we can find the signs and actually prevent ourselves from being infected this way. And we get infected by the common way we know how when it comes to saliva, any bodily fluids, and it could even be airborne. So, of course, this is why we're talking about this now. Um, and the body can get infected between 30 seconds or 48 hours, all depend on the individual's health, such as issues with like asthma, any kind of cancers, diabetes. Your health 100% matters on what is going to happen within the next 48 hours. 48 hours is the cutoff time. So how does artificial intelligence help us with this? We can program different AI to target these specific patterns in behaviors or medical issues and whatnot that can actually help prevent these things. It analyzes data, it makes decisions very, very quickly, which gives us the ability to act as fast as possible. So I'm now going to pass it on to Leslie, who is going to give us some AI tools to help us survive the zombie apocalypse, and some of our academics as well.
Okay, so academically, we could use AI tools such as speech to text, text to speech, and these you could access them on Google Docs if you're comfortable using that, or sometimes your computer or device itself has it. And so I can't really say how to access it since every device is different. Another thing we see a lot is speech recognition, and this is when you record a video, upload it on YouTube or Zoom, for example, you could get your captions, and so that would be considered AI. Another common AI tool is Quizlet, Grammarly, ChatGPT, and Duolingo. Have any of you used any of these AIs before?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
I do want to say that my newest love right now is ChatGPT. Like, it is good at just helping me just kind of get my thoughts together, because most of the time I'm having like 10 thoughts at a single time, and ChatGPT and Tome have really just helped me map out thoughts in a very fluid type of way. Absolutely. And of course I have Duolingo. I'm learning like 5 languages right now. It's great. All right, to continue our conversation, we're going to talk about what is AI, or artificial intelligence. It's a computer's ability to learn and problem solve and make decisions. And it does this by collecting patterns and specific data, well, throughout specific data, basically. It uses progressive learning algorithms, and it actually tracks the patterns, and it actually finds structure.
For the defense, academically, we can use Note, Quizlet, Tutor AI, and Duolingo. All these AI tools work very differently. So for this, we would need to understand our assignments and tasks when we are assigned them from our professors. For example, if we're going to be writing an essay about diet, a giraffe's diet, we need to learn what their diet is about, understand the task itself. So we could use Note, which is an AI tool that creates flashcards and notes using saved recorded lectures, videos, or by typing in a research question. So what is cool about Note is that if your professor records their lectures, you could input that video onto Note and it would format a note page for you. And so then there's also Quizlet, Tutor AI, and Duolingo. So Quizlet, I know many of you use Quizlet for any studying that you have for tests. It's very common. And Tutor AI, you could use it by searching it up on a website, typing in a question or keyword such as note. And this AI tool will provide you with a variety of modules to help you narrow down your question to find your answer. So something cool about this is that you could just put in any keywords, and if you're unsure what specifically you want to learn about, Tutor AIs or Note or Quizlet can give you a variety of modules and find your like the main idea that you're looking for. And Duolingo is very common for language learners. This AI tool can be found for free through your device's app store or using a web browser. So to find it, you just type in Duolingo. This is a little green owl that will ask you questions. You can choose what language you want to learn. I tried using this for German, and I was doing pretty good, but I need to get back on it. But this is a very good app to practice language. So have any of you tried Duolingo before?
No, does it actually work? Like you learn?
Yeah, it actually asks you like a variety of questions in the beginning, asking you what level you are. So if you know like to a certain level or nothing at all, it provides you sources, and it shows you alphabets, short words, and all that stuff. So yeah.
Oh, I'll have to try that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have to say, I myself am a huge fan of Duolingo. Aside from it, yes, it's teaching you the language, but it's teaching you at a very comfortable pace. You know, you're not only gonna learn how to read it, you're gonna learn how to read it, learn how to say it, and be very, very comfortable using it. Like I could say I could understand more than what I can speak, and it's actually such a super useful tool. Did you talk about the zombie apocalypse part? No, I didn't. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So now we are going to get to the AI in offense. This refers to our set of moves or actions taken to gain advantage over opponents. So I didn't have a chance to talk about the defense part of it. I had to run out for something. But the defense is for all of us taking precautions to protect our property, our assets, and whatever else to make sure our congregation stays safe against the zombie apocalypse. other kinds of congregations building up their own forces. We have to make sure that we are on our toes at all times. And offense is like the other side of that. We have to prepare for basically infiltration and be able to gain advantage over that. One thing I do want to point out, you should never have a one-way in or a one-way out. There should always be a couple of different multiple places where we can go in and out and always have backup plans for absolutely everything. Where AI comes in is going to be one of my favorite things is drones. I've never had a drone before, but they look super cool and I want to try one. And these can actually be programmed to actually help us analyze different areas that need more protection, if you will. We can also weaponize them. So if you guys don't know, the actual proper way to kill a zombie is by severing the head from the spine. Just by stabbing it in the head will not do anything. It's already dead. So we have to actually sever it from the spine because that would actually keep it from the brain and body from having interaction with each other. So it will no longer move. It would officially just be more dead. Can I say that? Can something be more dead? Yeah. And let's see. Oh, awesome. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about the different apps to go ahead and help us during our offense.
Okay, so now that we are familiar with the tasks that we were assigned, we need to get organized. So these AI tools such as Duolingo, Siri, Alexa, Bixby, and Google ChatGPT, there are all sources where you can find a routine. If you need assistance in creating it, such as ideas, ChatGPT is a very great AI source. Many of us have smartphones that have AI built in it. So for example, iPhone and Apple products, they have Siri, there's Google Home, and these are considered weak AIs, which means that they're human conversations, but they use all what they're saying from sources online. So you do need internet to access all of these. Do any of you have, I've never heard of Bixby, but have any of you have Bixby on your device, or which AI do you all have?
I've used Bixby and Google. Bixby, I turn off my phone. I tend to stay with Google.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do have Google and Siri. I like to use Google Home.
UV, if you're presenting, you're muted.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I was actually talking about Bixby. I have that on my phone and I do not know how to use it, but I definitely am going to give it a try. AI is basically one of my new loves, basically. Okay, now we're going to get into logistics, and this is basically has to do with planning, implementing, and controlling the flow of foods that we have, services, information, basically how our entire congregation is going to continue to function. And we could do this by optimize supply chains, managing inventory, and coordinating transportation. And by doing this, we can use AI algorithms that can analyze the data to predict demand and adjust inventory according to levels. Depending on how big our congregation is, we're going to need constant analyzing of what is coming in, what is coming out, where it's going to, how we're going to get things back, to continue things functioning as normal as possible. I don't know if I can use normal in a proper context. And yeah, we're going to talk about the AI that can help us with that.
Okay, so there is ChatGPT, Tome, and Photomath. If your focus is on math instead of any writing, I know that ChatGPT and PhotoMath is a very great are very good sources. So for PhotoMath, it considers to be outline help because it helps you solve the equation that you're having trouble on. So you could use that as the outline and take note of it. And so you could continue to work your other equations using help from PhotoMath. And then there's Tome. A fun fact is that this presentation was actually help generated from Tome. And a lot of it, we got the ideas from Tome. And so this is a very good source too. If you're stuck creating an outline, if you don't have any ideas for an essay or anything or a presentation, Tome will give you an outline and ideas with it too. So any questions so far? Okay.
I do definitely want to say when it comes to Tome, it is such a time saver. It can just generate things in just like less than a minute, less than 30 seconds, and everything is editable. Like you can check, you can recheck things, you can delete stuff, you can input stuff. It is so fun to play with. And again, it is there as a continued learning tool. And now we're going to get into medical assistance. Again, with the zombie apocalypse, we have to know how to help each other in every possible way. Because aside from the Salmonum virus, there's still the cold, there's still the flu, there's still everything else there. And so all of these things can actually continue to keep us vulnerable to the virus itself. And a lot of the symptoms are going to be very, very similar to a cold. So in this sense, it's important to have AI that can actually not walk us through, but analyze somebody or a certain place to know how a person is being infected, what is the percentage rate of us being able to save them, and what precautions we have to take for them. A lot of times they will have to be isolated because again, it can spread very, very quickly, even airborne. So we're going to be very, very cautious when it comes to that. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about the AI tools.
Okay, so 3 examples of medical assistance for academic use is Grammarly, text-to-speech. There's also speech-to-text, and then speech recognition. Grammarly comes very in handy, and it is free. There is a way where you could get more help, but there's a subscription, so you need to pay. There's monthly, I'm not sure about weekly, but I know there's annual as well. So for Grammarly, this is an AI extension that helps users find and correct low-level errors in their written work and reduces plagiarism. It allows users to focus more on a higher-level issues such as critical thinking, creativity, and demonstration of learning. And so this, since it is an extension, when you open Google Docs or Word or any email as well, Grammarly will be there to help you. And it's just going to underline words and hopefully find a synonym or just a better phrase for your sentence. And then there's also text-to-speech. So this can aid readers with visual impairments and those who struggle with reading comprehension or have difficulty decoding written text. Sometimes hearing the words spoken aloud can help better understand the material and retain more information. So text-to-speech comes very in handy when your professor assigns you a huge long article to read and you just can't concentrate. When you keep rereading and rereading your paragraphs, text-to-speech is very good to have because you have somebody else reading the text for you. Then there's also speech recognition. So this helps those with hearing impairments and allow struggling readers to keep up with their peers. With the help of AI, computers can now recognize and interpret spoken language, allowing these students to understand lectures better and participate in discussions. So is there any questions so far about any of these AIs? No? Okay.
Not yet.
All right, just touch on that subject when it comes to speech recognition and when it comes to speech to text. We are going to talk about communication, which is super essential for our survival here. We don't know how fast or how far the virus is going to be spreading. And so we can assume that it likely is going to go global. Because why not? And so it's important for us to actually know how to communicate with other countries in order to continue supply chains, how things are being affected over there, or even if someone has found a cure in a sense. So in that case, yeah, we would definitely want to keep a team that is in charge of communication to continue our way of living and how to advance our directions in a sense. So, and to continue to talk about that, we will continue talking about speech to text, speech recognition, and natural language processing.
Okay, so for communication, what if we're stuck in a situation where we don't understand the other person due to a language barrier? This is where natural language processing comes in hand. So when you're watching a movie or a video or anything, and you have the option to watch it in a different language, that's considered to be natural language processing. So this AI tools allows automatic translation of different languages. This would be especially useful when communicating with survivors from different regions or countries. Then there's also text to speech, like I mentioned, and speech recognition. So this technology enables learners to listen to content instead of reading it, making it easier for them to comprehend and retain information. Then there's using speech recognition could help identify and filter out background noise during communication. Any questions? If there's any questions, you guys could just interrupt or add in the chat box.
Okay, AI in food and water supply. For me, rationalizing portions is incredibly important, and we just think about what do we actually need constantly when it comes to different medications, antibiotics, bedding, food, seeds, soil. I mean, think about it. Just what can we carry? What do we need? What are the essential things? And AI can be used to monitor, manage food and water supplies. Not all water is drinkable, so we're going to need AI to kind of like tell us what we can use and what we cannot, and predict food shortages. A lot of that does happen because of weather, whether it be super hot or super cold, and the environment. If we're growing stuff indoors, we have to be able to give the best kind of indoor environment, and also to optimize distribution, all depending on how big our congregation is and how big it's going to end up getting. And to continue, the machine learning algorithms can analyze data from sensors to predict when crops will be ready for harvest, when water sources will run low. Robotics can be used to automate farming and water treatment processing and reduce the need for human labor. Doesn't mean we shouldn't know how to do these things, because a lot of what they learn is what we learn. So just want to keep that in mind. They could only learn what we input into them. So, and just for reference, when it comes to ChatGPT, it can actually help with that as well. Les, do you want to just give us a brief overview?
Yeah, so ChatGPT helps a lot by analyzing data. So if you don't understand an article, you could just copy and paste it, and it could help you understand better in different words.
Awesome. We are making great time. So we're going to continue with shelter and safety. Maybe one of the first, now that I think about it, this should have been the first thing we talked about, is where are we going? What is the first place we should go? It has to be a place for electricity, ideally cemented walls, very minimal daylight, or, you know, windows and such, very minimal in and out places. And a place where we can continuously monitor everything around us. I decided to think of like the Apple Corporation or something. We should all just go over there, invade that place, shelter ourselves in air, because we're going to need, you know, the internet. We're going to need electricity. We're going to need massive space, and the chance that we're going to just be huge. And AI can actually help monitor the environment and potential threats by seeing the movements zombies are making, where the hordes are actually going, to understand where their next locations are going to be. And this is allow us know when to move, where to move, and how soon. So yeah, so we will know where to set up and when to evacuate. Go ahead and give me another slide. Yes, the challenges of using AI in a zombie apocalypse. You heard me say internet, Bluetooth, electricity. These are basic things that we have right now. There is a chance that they will not be around, basically. In the chance, we have to watch out for any malfunction or errors that can occur. I don't know about you guys. Sometimes I send a text to somebody and they never ever get it unless I'm sending it to somebody else. Malfunctions happen just because, as far as I know. So using constant updates and maintenance on them, regular having them redone and checked and charged and all that stuff is essential. And like I said, we'll be limited to the internet access, which will likely be our the internet will be a big way for us to communicate with the world around us. Without the internet, we will be very limited when it comes to communication. So these are some things to think about as we prepare for the zombie apocalypse. Okay, and back to ethical considerations. AI is to be used as a weapon against humans, but it can be used as a weapon against humans. It can only understand the data we put into it. So if it only understands to attack some kind of humanoid that's probably like bloody or something, that could possibly be a survivor. So we have to keep that in mind. And so basically, it wouldn't be just solely against zombies. So we have to really think about biases, discrimination, and make sure they're programmed very, very carefully and with enough detail to get it to work with. And to go on, Leslie would actually talk to you about some more ethical considerations.
Okay, so AI comes very in hand for academics, but don't solely depend on AI for survival or just academics in general. So practice developing your own critical thinking skills through suggestions and feedback, not only from AI tools, but from your human peers. Just like UV said, AI does generate mistakes because it doesn't understand your text completely. So you are the one that truly understands what you're looking for and what you're trying to look for and what you're receiving, if it is correct or not. Another one is plagiarism. It's a big no. Why? Because plagiarism is a form of theft. It takes the words and ideas of others and passes them off your own. So this will get you in trouble with Fresno State and almost all of the schools that I know of. So yeah, don't do that because you could get kicked out or just get really in trouble really bad. So
yeah, just to touch on that. Can you go back to that slide? Yeah, just to touch on that, the whole don't depend on it. You can only put so much data and it will generate something for you. You will know where your weak points are when it comes to what you're trying to learn. One thing I noticed is that as I'm trying to write something when it comes to theory, when it comes to writing something just for context, I have to continue to ask it questions for it to give me more and more and more. So it actually even helps you with your thinking itself. So, and again, it will only think or only tell you what it knows, which is whatever anybody else has vetted into it. So, yeah, definitely read your stuff thoroughly, know what angle you're getting at, and ask yourself questions on how you can definitely make it better. So, go ahead. All right. So, in conclusion, our survival is possible only when our basic needs are met. Make sure that we all stay together. We're in constant communication. That we keep each other safe with medical assistance when it comes to shelter. When it comes to what am I looking for? Like food and water. And just try to make life as basically normal as possible or a new normal. AI is not a replacement for human ingenuity and resourcefulness. So definitely use your tutoring services, use any of the articles that you need, and definitely take your time when it comes to your academics. Really just pour yourself into it. We are almost through with this semester. I'm ready for Thanksgiving break. I don't know about everybody else. But yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. Go ahead, Liz. Wait, you want me to?
Did you give the introduction already?
Okay, so what we are going to do now is actually to break you out in breakout rooms, and you're going to have about 5 minutes to, oh, sorry. We're going to break you up into 4 groups. So group 1, you are going to be in charge of finding a shelter somewhere. Group 2, you're going to handle weaponry. Group 3, you're going to rationalize portions. What are you bringing to the table? How many of us are there? How much do we need? And group 4 is, oh, scavenging. What do we need? So like I said, bedding, clothing, medicine, whatever. So you guys go ahead and handle it while we break you out into your breakout room.
Okay, Yuvi and Leslie, do you as well want to be joining one of the rooms or stay here?
I could stay here.
Okay.
Same. How is it on our side? I like coughed too much. That's why I like disappeared. God.
No, you're good. I have to move her to a different one. Look for.
Me too. I heard myself just repeating myself. I was like, oh my gosh, but
No, it's great.
it's in the
Both of
past.
you.